Hello everyone. So I was walking and Michael's looking for fairy stickers for February. And apparently Michael's doesn't sell the stickers that I want anymore, so that's fun. But I was like, hey, there's a Five Below. I want to go to Five Below. Maybe they sell them. They did not. They did sell some really cool Mandalorian stickers that I don't know where I put right now, but I would have shown them to you. But they also sold markers. So this is a story to these. I saw these, and then I saw these. These two sets. Then I made a whole review, and then I looked up. These are just Five Below markers in general, and I've discovered there's a skin and gray tone set, but there was not that at mine. So then I went with my friends the other day, because, you know, just to visit, and they have a Five Below near them. I'm like, hey, can you take me to the Five Below? I want to see. There I found this group of markers. There's another set I found, which I will show but will not talk about, because I have a whole rant on those, and I just want them to be separate. I will get those. So they came in this, of course with plastic, but the plastic just fell off as soon as I bought them, so I threw the plastic away, but I wanted to keep them. And here are those markers. But these ones I'm going to talk about separately because they confuse me. They look like alcohol markers. The back says they're water-based. Oops. Right here it says water-based. But they smell like alcohol. And act like alcohol. So I don't understand. So these can go and make their own video. And we're going to talk about these. So I'm going to take one out of this set just to show you what it is. Here's the marker. It's dual tip. Let me turn off autofocus. These are dual tip markers. There's a thin and a broad. So like a standard marker. Brush markers are kind of hard to find. Only ones I really know of are the Blick ones, the Copics, and a Hoo-Hoo. I don't know of any other brands. I'm sure there are some. I just don't know what they are. The packaging's very cheap, but as we expected, it's $5. They're very light. There's a little divot you can kind of see. Not really a divot, but it kind of goes straight. It doesn't go straight across. It goes whoop in a little bit. I think this meant so you can hold it and get it off. The packaging is just a sticker, so that's not good, but whatever. These colors are all entirely wrong on the barrel. It does have a color code, but for some reason I have, let's just say this is BG1, blue-gray. I have WG6 and WG7, which would be warm gray 6 to 7, but they both say warm gray, which is very confusing. So the color names in this brand in general is just terrible. Also, there is no branding on it, so I couldn't tell you what it is. I do know that they're made in China. And also they're trying to look really close to a Prismacolor. So those of you who are kind of new to art maybe, or just, you know, Copics took over, so you might not have known. These used to be the markers. When I was little, these were the markers, and then Copics kind of came into the scene. I don't know who was older, but I know when I was a kid, these were all the rage, and then it moved to Copics. And as you could tell, just like this one, they really want to look like bootleg Prismacolors. It even has the thick for the thick side and those thin for the thin side. As far as ink goes, they go down flat enough. Let me get my sketchbook. I will do an entire swatching of both markers, but I'll make that a swatch with me video. I will show you the finished swatches in this one, just so you can see, but I can show you some of the swatches I did for the previous review, but I'm going to redo it because developments happened. This is what I'll be doing the swatches on, but here we go. So this right here. Okay, these are the mystery ones. I'll talk about those later. So these right here are this set. And then I swatched the skin tones and grays here, which these are really nice skin tones, by the way. For a cheap set, these are great. This one's a little too pink, but it could be too blush. It's fine. And the grays, they're kind of a weird selection of grays, but you do get a light one and a medium one and some darker ones, so it's not bad. It's kind of weird how they balance it out. And the naming, I'll get to the naming in detail later. But I mean, there is some speckling. You can't really see on this camera, but there is some speckling. But for the price, they lay it down relatively flat. I wouldn't say they're any better or worse than these ones, which cost more. These are Royal Nickel Azure markers, which I've done a whole review on, if you want to see a review for those. I'll get to the other ones in a second, but this is the swatches for the other ones right here. So, as far as colors, I don't want to waste my good cardstock. I have a bent up piece. Okay, so, where's that most egregious one? A lot of these, okay, I have so many thoughts. All of these names of these colors, just about, are wrong or stupid. So let me find a really, really bad one. I know which one I'm looking for. I'm not going to show you the color. I'm going to cover it up like this. Can you read that? It says GG3 Green Gray. Green Gray. Does that look green to you? That looks like a dusty pink or a dusty purple. Yeah, I have a different one that looks like a dusty pink. Looks nothing like a dusty pink. But that is not green. So this and this don't even match. The names in this does not match. Then you swatch the color out. It's just pretty much like a cooler side, but mostly neutral gray. There's no green in it. So I don't know why it's called green gray. That's just one example. Out of this set, we have a couple. It's gonna be great. Which one is this? Okay. If you can read that, it says 101. Why this doesn't get a letter or number code, I don't know. 101 yellow ochre. And again, it looks like a dusty pink color. Not yellow ochre at all. Then you swatch it. This is more like a potato brown. So again, the color names and then labels, nothing matches. Here's another one. Terracotta. Steph from Doodle Date would be outraged. Terracotta. 23. No letter code for some reason. Looks like a peach. Then you swatch it. This is terracotta. This is obviously a fluorescent peach color. So, what I'm saying is, all of these color names and labels do not match. But I will not put that against them because they're so cheap. And also, I found a solution for this kind of thing a long time ago with my Sharpies, because Sharpies do not have a color name on them. At least they haven't for years. Maybe they changed it since then. And Azures have the same trouble. So, what I did is I got a piece of paper. I swatched on the piece of paper, and then I taped it onto the marker so I see what the actual color is. Because some of these have really horrible matching too. Like, even with this one. This is a light orange. This is like a dark, medium orange. So, for that one thing, I would say do not hold that against them. You can just do that technique and it's fine. But if you're a kid who doesn't know about that technique, this is extremely frustrating. And this is the more expensive set. And it has less markers. But you get 2 sets, 12 each. There's no blender, which I like actually because I don't use blender. They both come with a black, so you technically have 2 blacks, but that's fine. Do not line with black and then color, it will blend out. We'll just say 23 because it's 2 blacks. But for 23 markers, them for $10, I would say for the price and the amount you get, I would say that's not bad. That's these. Now these, I would say, are the superior ones, even though they're $1 less and you get more. I don't know why that is, but... Okay, so these, grab this color, I guess. I really like this color. So these are also double-sided markers. They're called illustration markers. There's no branding on these either. My theory, although I cannot prove it because I do not know anything about Five Below. Also, if I keep saying Blick for some reason instead of Five Below, it's because my brain has turned off. These are Five Below, not Blick markers. Blick markers I never tried. Five Below is cheap. Everything is $5 or less. And since all of these, right? All these are made in China, I assume these are just bootleg brands. But these look like touch markers. I don't have them, but I've seen people use them. Also double-sided, broad nib, bullet nib. This nib was a little dry. Oh, it's a little softer now. When I first got it, it was kind of dry. This has some very nice colors. And also the colors, although also do not match perfectly at all. Like that's a more, it's kind of like a little more saturated than this. They're way closer than those. Also, they have names that make sense. Like this is sky blue. Here's a vermilion. And the vermilion actually looks vermilion. Vermilion's like an orangey red. It actually looks like the color it's supposed to be. So, if you just want one set, I would definitely say go for these ones. I did do a speed paint section, which I will use in this video, but just know that I did not know about these skin tones and grays at the time. So I will show you a picture I did. I used all of the markers here, so just keep that in mind. This is the colors for the big set. My one gripe with this set is the marigold and lemon yellow are too close. These I actually like. You have like a red, a medium red, and a light red, but the coral pink is supposed to be pink, and it should be a little more orangey, but they're $4. I can't complain too much. But I used some of my new markers that I just got. These ones with this, as well as these and those. So this is an illustration I did at my friend's house just to see how they work. It's just plans, don't worry about that. So as you can see, it looks pretty good for the cheapness that they are. There's a speed paint section. I'll be showing you me drawing this. I would say that for the money that they're worth it, simply because I know if I was the one buying these when I was like 13, 14, I would be frustrated with the colors not matching, but I'm the one who came up with this idea. I never saw anyone else do it. I'm sure other people have, but I never saw it. So I came up with the idea. I would have just come up with it then, for the colors to be accurate. Also, it's a good idea to make a color chart, even though it's not Copics. You can still write down the name and the code or whatever. So, if I had money, about 13 years old, $14, and I can get 12, 24, plus 18, 2, 4, 8, 2, 30 something markers, I think, or 40 markers, something like that. I'm not good at math. But 40 markers for $14, I would have been in my glory. So I would say these are good beginner markers if you'll just be able to overlook the color names and the color swatchy parts on the marker. See, here are some of the other colors. Now, these ones speckle more than these ones. I'm not sure why. Like, these ones, you can't see it. I'll try and get a close-up with my phone. But they are really speckly. You can see it way more. They're kind of closer to how those yours can speckle. But, yeah. Now, when it comes to blending, it's kind of hard to show because these colors are all so different. But here's a I'm assuming it's blue because I don't know. Right? Napoleon, yeah, this one was a blue. So here's a dark blue. See, the colors are nice. And here's a light blue. I wouldn't say it's a perfect blend, but I would say they do blend. Like I said, not perfectly, but there is a blend there. So you can blend them. Not the greatest, but you can blend them. And if you're new, you're probably not going to be blending anyway. You're just going to be accustoming yourself to just coloring. So that's not bad. These ones, here is Vermilion. I really like this color, by the way. And here is Coral Pink. I would say these also kind of have a hard time blending. They look a little more alcohol-y when you try to put them a little more speckly with the blend. But they also do blend. I would say with any medium, not just these specific ones, do a test page, practice a little bit, see if you like how it looks before you make a picture you like, and you ruin it because the blend don't work right or whatever. Also worth noting, because I inked both pictures, let me get it. I didn't go over the thick line afterwards, but I even used yellow and it didn't really smear the lines. The thin lines before I thickened them were done with microns, and sometimes even Copics will smudge a micron, so they didn't smudge it much at all, so that was good. Again, test, because maybe this paper soaked it up quicker or whatever. Test your stuff first. But it did not smudge them. And for the other picture, I started off using a Sharpie to ink, which was not my smartest move. And as you can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see. I'll try and get as close up with my phone. It got really feathery around in here because Sharpies are kind of alcohol based too. So don't line with Sharpies unless you line last and the picture's dry, because you don't want them to spread because it's wet. So keep in mind, if you're going to ink, use permanent ink, not alcohol-based ink. Water-based ink, if it's permanent ink, should be okay, but test it first. They do bleed, but they're alcohol-based. That's to be expected. And, yeah, I would definitely recommend these as long as you're okay with the swatchy bit, like I said. So in short, if you have a Five Below, check these ones out. I will do a separate review over the other ones because I have a rant about those. But these ones, I think they're fine. The sketchbook I use is mixed media, and this is cardstock, which is what I normally use for markers if I'm doing it not in a sketchbook. So I know it works on those two pieces, those two like types of paper. Like I say, always test out your stuff first. And I keep being this in. Do this for these. These are pretty close, but I would still do it for these two if you want. Or make a color chart. At least make a color chart for all of these, because this is going to deceive you. But I would definitely do this because you're going to go accustomed to seeing that. And then, like, remember the translation. Just look at what it looks like. Trust me, it's worth the extra, like, 20-30 minutes to cut it, color it, and just don't hurt yourself like that, is all I'm saying. So, yeah. I will jump to the speed paint portion. I won't make it last very long, but just so you can see them being used in action. And, yes. I hope you found this review useful. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. I'll answer them the best I can. I'm not a marker expert, but since I've gotten to use different brands, I kind of know a little bit more than what I used to know. So yeah. In this little speed painting section, I'm gonna say my thoughts on the markers now that I have been using them for almost an entire month. Throughout February, I have been using them with Azure markers and Copic markers and together. So I have more experience with them now. Now that I've been using them for a month, they worked perfectly fine for me on craft paper for the whole February. I have had certain colors that I gravitated towards more because they've dried way lighter on the tan paper, and it was actually really nice. They were really smooth on tan paper. They played nice with other brands. They bleed, but that's all alcohol markers. That's kind of expected. Even in Copics are very, 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 very bleedy. As I mentioned before, the only real complaint I have had with these is that the colors aren't entirely accurate on the barrels, but that's kind of how most markers are. Only most markers aren't this blatantly bad, except for Azure markers. I'm looking right now at a marker that looks like a very, very pale orange, almost a yellow, but the swatch I put on it is a very primary orange, and it's very inaccurate. So, besides Azures, I have not seen markers that blatantly bad when it comes to the barrel colors being wrong. But like I said, if you just tape it on there, the actual color, you're fine. It's just stupid. So I would really recommend these for someone who's starting out with markers and don't know if they like them yet. Honestly, I would recommend these over the Artist Loft ones, because the Artist Loft ones, even though they're brush tips, the brush tips fray very quickly. I do not like the Artist Loft markers. I used them for an entire Inktober, and by the end of it, they were so jacked up, the tips, and I wasn't even particularly rough with them, and the paper I used was super smooth. It wasn't even mixed media paper. It was basically notebook paper. There was no reason for them to get jacked up that bad. So if I had to pick between Artist Loft, which was way more expensive, and Michael's like off-brand from Copics, or these, I would choose these. Now I cannot say about the Hobby Lobby official brand, the Master's Touch ones, because I never tried those, but I have to imagine those are better because I've seen people rave about those. But if you have a Five Below, I keep saying this, I actually do recommend these. I have seen people make reviews and the title's like, don't get these, they suck. It might be because of the speckling, but I don't really care about speckling. Some people do, but I don't. If you care about speckling, don't get them, because especially the ones with the black barrel, they speckle a lot more than the other ones, but it's not that bad. I've seen really bad speckling, and that it's not that bad. Also, like I said, I've been using these for a while, at least on craft paper, because all of my February drawings have been on craft paper, which is a tan paper. These markers, they don't streak too much, but they streak slightly, but it's also not a paper that's normally recommended to draw on because it's so thin and slightly porous. But some of the colors do streak. In general, though, they do lay pretty flat. I do prefer the square ones over the black barreled ones, but I would, if you could buy all of the sets, just buy all of the sets, because you get a lot of markers for a small amount of money and you'll have more colors to work with. You don't need all the hundreds of colors Copic has, but you would like a fair selection at least. And this gives you some teals, some skin tones, some grays, some blues, some greens, some yellows, and some oranges, and some purples. If I was to complain about colors, I would like to have at least one lighter purple, but it is what it is. You could always layer a light pink and a light blue and maybe make a purple experiment, because you can layer with markers because they are a transparent medium. So we have that as well. So yeah, I don't know what else to talk about right now. If you have any questions, ask them, and if I have an answer, I will answer it. I hope you all enjoyed this review and this small speed paint. I will be definitely using these markers in the future. I have been using them for all of February, and I'm hoping they don't discontinue them, because once they dry out, I will want to replace them. I do enjoy them. I like the colors. I like that they're so cheap. I like that they're accessible. I really do hope they don't get rid of them. Now, that other brand, we're going to talk about those. But for this, the ones I showed, primarily, those ones I do recommend. If you would like to see more art with me using them, watch my February archives on YouTube, my Twitch archives. There's hours of content there. You could have one in the background. There's music, there's some chatting. A lot of the time I go silent because I'm just drawing and I don't have a lot of people in my chat on Twitch. So you can just listen to some tunes and some sketchy ASMR sounds. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and if you have any questions, ask them. I will answer them the best I can. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye everybody.